Good morning guys, welcome to Lost Phoenix Gaming, the home of tips, tricks, guides and tunes for Forza Horizon. And it's here, it's finally arrived. It's the Hot Wheels Legends pack for Forza Horizon, and this is fantastic. I've got the trailer up here. Due to copyright music I've had to mute it, but what I'll do is I've already bought this. It's dropped a few hours ago and I have bought it, so I'm going to go through each car, just showing you a few of the options and giving it a little drive around the map. So let's get into it, let's get started, and let's have a look at it. Which is $10 US, which is about £7.40 in the UK, and apply the appropriate currency conversions over to your local stores, I guess. But this is it, I've downloaded it. Let's load it in to my house. And you need to go to the auto show, because after you buy it, you can download this stuff off the auto show. So I want to go over. Let's have a look for Hot Wheels, not Hoonigan, Hot Wheels. Right, here they are. It's two jets, Chevrolet LUV, International Harvester, Studebaker, Nash Metropolitan Coupe, and Ford F5 Duelly Custom. Okay, what I'll do is I'll have a look at each of these. I've not seen these before. I'm literally going in and downloading them for the first time. There's already a few people put some very basic designs up. I suppose you do get that when cars come out first off. But I'm going to go in, I'm going to download this because your first download is free. I'm keeping stuff to the stock colours, so yes, I want to keep this car. I'm going to download this car. So let this save the content. Here it is for two jets. Okay, let's have a look at the car masteries first. 5,000 car collection influence. The usual sort of stuff around there. And you've also got 5,000 skills influence. Some wheel spins and cross away, 30,000 credits, as well as the usual bits and bobs you normally get. Let's have a look at the upgrades menu. Engine swaps. Right, let's see what we can find. We've got a stock powertrain here. It's an S1 class 889 rear wheel drive. There's a 3 litre V8 racing, which puts it to 868 and does drop the acceleration a little bit, does drop the total top speed, but of course you go in from there and tune it. For the main tuning options on an engine, this is for the stock engine. It's just the usual sort of stuff. Nothing amazing. But certainly you can always upgrade the engine and go to the V8. Next up, come back down, Hot Wheels. Let's have a look at the Chevy LUV, shall we? So let's download this. I'm not going to bother going for any custom designs. I'm going to keep this stock. I'm going to just go manufacturer because I'm not going to tweak this stuff at the moment. All I'm going to do is show you guys this stuff as it comes. Okay, once again, let's have a look at the upgrades and tuning menu. Car masteries, we've got 5,000 influence, skill multipliers, as well as some wheel spins, so that's okay. For the stock powertrain, we've got a B class rated engine. You've got the 6.2 litre V8 as an upgrade. Again, drops the acceleration, ups the speed a little bit. You've got an 8 litre V10. Does an 8.4 litre V10 actually. So that's not bad. And finally, at the end, we've got the racing 7.2 litre V8. Okay. That's in a few of these cars. It's alright. Gives it a little bit of a boost there. And again, if you cut down to the engine on the stock, it is just your usual sort of stuff that you can upgrade. Moving on, let's have a look at the next car. Going down to Hot Wheels, and let's have a look at the International Harvester Lodestar. Okay, the CO1600. Let's go and download that one, shall we? Again, I'm not worrying so much about custom design. So you just painted it white. Okay, never mind. I'm keeping to the stock colour scheme because I want to keep everything looking pretty much as it is at the moment. So let's load this one in. Once again, let's have a look at the upgrades and tuning menu. Car masteries, 5,000 car collection influence. You've got a skill multiplier, got some wheel spins in there, and you've got a 10,000 up the top, pretty much the same as some of the other stuff really. Custom upgrades, engine swaps, what do we got? Stock powertrain comes in at a C class, which, okay, it's not too bad. Rear wheel drive again, and alternative engines, the 5.2 litre V8. Okay, that's an extra 41 horsepower for this one, but as standard, still within the C class. The next engine upgrade is a racing 7.2 litre V8. That puts it into a B class. So it does seem it's quite a lot of the same sort of setups within some of these cars when it comes to upgrade options. The racing 7.2 litre V8 seems to be pretty popular as an upgrade option. Let's have a look. What can you put on the front? Okay, the Forza Racing bumper. No. What can we have on the back? The Racing Wing. That just looks stupid. No. I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to leave all that stuff off because I'm not putting any tunes on, and I certainly wouldn't put that on. Again, standard fare when it comes to the engine upgrade options for the stock engine. Okay, next one. Flip over to the auto show again, and let's have a look at the Hot Wheels. Okay, the Studebaker Golden Hawk Dream Roadster. Okay, let's download this one and see what's inside of it. A couple of designs already. Basic colour swaps. No, I'm just keeping the stock one. Yes, I want to choose this car, saving content. Don't turn off your device. This is the one with the very silly headlights. Yes, it is. Right. Over to garage, upgrades and tuning, and let's see what the car mastery's got for us. 5,000 car collection influence. You got a skill song multiplier, and you've got a few other little bits and bobs, and a 10,000 influence at the top. So, yeah, okay, fair enough. Nothing major in there. But engine upgrades, what have we got? Let's have a look. As standard, we can upgrade the turbo, but engine-wise, it's pretty much just a nose over the A-class. There's certainly room for upgrading to keep it within the A-class system. So we've got a 6.2 litre V8 here, which is actually a drop in power. And then you've got the 8.4 litre V10, which gives you an extra 112 horsepower. Okay, it's fair enough. You can have a little play around with this. And I actually have had a little play around with this since. And made this into quite a nice S1 car. It's actually quite fun to drive. And you can't really do a lot else with that car, to be fair. So let's have a look at the next car up on the list. Hot Wheels, move over. So that will be the Nash Metropolitan Custom. quite a few designs to this actually. Definitely people have been going mad doing colour swaps, but I'm keeping the default on this one and saving the content. Let's have a drop down into the garage, into the upgrade and tunings menu, and let's see what the car mastery has to offer for this one. 5,000 car influence, a wheel spin, a couple more wheel spins and 10,000 at the top. So yeah, similar to the other stuff really. Let's have a look at the upgrade options. Engine wise, we've got the stock engine, which is a C class, and we've got two other options to upgrade for. So we move over to that one, and that's a 6.2 litre V8, gives you 65 extra horsepower for the upgrade. And the next one is a racing 7.2 litre V8, which gives you a whopping 500 horsepower more. Okay, cool. I'm sure you can put that up into the S2 class without too many problems. For the aerodynamics, we can put a little mini spoiler on the back, a little mini wing, and okay, no, I actually would keep it as it is, as a bit of a sleeper personally. But that's that. Engine upgrades, just a few of the standard stuff, your pistons, your block and whatnot. And that's that one. So let's go in and have a look at some more Hot Wheels. Cut down Hot Wheels, and finally we've got the Ford F5 Duelly Custom Hot Rod. That is cool with the two wheels at the back. I like that. 1949, proper old school hot rod racing, yeah? So let's go and grab that and have a look what we can do with it. There's quite a few designs to this. People are just chucking your standard hot rod designs on stuff, but I want to keep the stock for rusty standard. That actually looks quite cool. That does all rusty and funky, so I'm sort of saving that, and we can go in and see what's behind this before we go out and give this a little run around. Over to the upgrades menu, car mastery, 3,000 car collection influence. We've got, is that 5,000 above it? Yes, that's 5,000 skills influence. And we've got some wheel spins in there, so it's not too bad. Engine upgrades, what do we got? First up, the stock powertrain, B class, but we can jump it up to a racing 7.2 litre V8, giving you an additional 450 horsepower, instantly putting you in the A class. Again, this is one I think you could have a bit of fun with, and messing around with the tuning and whatnot. But as it stands, I'm going to be leaving everything as standard and driving this stuff as stock, because any tuning, anything you do, sort of does take away from, you know, the original intent of the vehicle. When you look in here again, it's all the standard stuff. If you do like what I'm doing, hit that like button, hit subscribe. So what we're going to do, before I get into this, I have got a community vote going on my community tab. I've got these two cars here. This is what you vote for now. This is this week, so it changes on Thursday. It's got 2 days. It was 18 hours when I recorded this. And I'm asking you guys, what shall I vote for? The Buick GSX or the Impala? And I have got a poll going, so if you want to influence my vote, go cast your vote over on my community tab. Okay, we're onto a road now. We're in the Duelly, and this is lagging a little bit. I'll go in, I'll change a couple of settings. I'll put traction control on this one because it is rear wheel drive, and I'm probably going to be sliding it a bit. Everything else I'm keeping as is, and this is lagging a little bit because the game did an update. It is lagging because the game did actually do an update, and every time the game updates, the first time you play it, it does lag out. It does really jitter and go really sort of iffy, and then after a little while it settles down and it goes alright. And this is running off an SSD, it's not running off a old spinny hard disk or anything, so I'm not sure quite what's happening. But this is the inside of the Duelly. Yeah, it's Duelly because it's got the two wheels at the back on each side, hence dual wheels. But yeah, it's actually quite nice. Rear wheel, definitely slidey, definitely skidding. Obviously, being a hot rod set up as a drag racer. I'm going to go give it a run around on the Juggernaut. It's a drag race, so let's see how it gets on. Hopefully, all this jittering will stop. So I'm going to cut to the outside of the car. You can see the nitrous tanks in the back. I'm assuming they're the nitrous tanks looking at it. And over to the Juggernaut. Okay, I'm in offline mode because it's been a bit weird trying to get online, but yeah, cancel that. Just do the Juggernaut. Hot rods and customs. Well, it's a custom hot rod, so let's give this a go, shall we? I'll load into it. And I'm going to do this on New Racer because these cars are not tuned. They are not optimised and they're not really ready. That is really sparse on the inside, isn't it? That is really minimalist. It's pretty much as light as possible. You've basically just got some welding metal posing as your driver's seat. Okay, right. The Juggernaut. Okay. Right, I'm up against some Hoonigans there. The Bel Airs and whatnot. That looks pretty cool, so I'm going to shut up a little bit and let you hear the engine running. I'm coming up now towards the line and totally owned by the Hoonigan Chevy Bel Airs. You know, the Hoonigan Bel Airs totally owned me there, but okay, it's untuned, it's alright, skip through this stuff. But you can hear what it sounds like, you can see what it drives like, and it's actually quite a nice car. It's actually quite fun, but I'm definitely going to go make some modifications to it, particularly with the handling as well, because it is a bit weird. But let's give this a little run down here, and you can see the sides of it. Got the back, the Duelly wheels, you know, the two wheels on each side on the back, and little skull and crossbones as well. So yeah, this is actually quite smart, and definitely something which, out of all the Hot Wheels cars, I would say is probably more practical, because a lot of Hot Wheel cars are a bit silly, to say the least. A bit whimsical, a bit sort of comical. It's sort of what the mad stuff you could do with a car. But this is actually what I would call probably a more serious sort of car, something which you could quite permissibly see driving down the motorway. So giving it a little drive around, and yeah, it's actually quite good. I've got it in my cockpit view. I don't normally sort of work in cockpit view. So driving around here, around these little country lanes, and not doing, well, too badly, but it's definitely very slidey because it's rear-wheel drive. It's set up as a hot rod, so it's drag race-wise. I imagine this is going to have like drag tyres on it as sort of default. And we're driving around in the rain. Okay. But being very careful. A lot of little micro movements on the steering wheel, trying to keep it from spinning, or I'm taking out half the hedges when I actually do that. And yeah, it's actually quite a nice car, to be fair. Probably drop it onto an all-wheel drive train and give it a little bit better stability. But this is definitely a really cool car, and I do like this. And what I'll do though is cut over and I'll show you the next one. So we're on Hot Wheels again. Let's have a look at two jets, shall we? That is just going to be mental. That is going to be so crazy. So I'm going to get that car delivered to me now, and we can go for a little drive about in this one. Right, there we go, cockpit view. Got the orange tint. I used to have sunglasses like that. You've actually got the orange tint on there, and it's basically set up to be like almost like a jet fighter. It's absolutely mad. And that is absolutely crazy. That's pretty much a jet engine on wheels at this point. Give it a skid round. Totally losing it because this stuff is rear-wheel drive. This is all on stock tyres and everything. And it's actually raining, so there's a lot of standing water, plus it's raining anyway. So let's have a little drive. Completely spinning it. This is absolutely wild. I'm definitely going to see what I can do with this, because I think you can bounce this up to about 1300 horsepower. And in fact, that's what I have actually done. I have made a crazy X-Class tune for this, but I'm getting back into a motorway, trying to stay in a straight line. And I will take this down the Juggernaut again. I'm going to cut back into a cockpit view, because this is one of the most unique things about this car, is this really unique fighter plane style cockpit. It's absolutely mad. It really is. It's like drumming around in it, and it is like being in a fighter plane. So onto the Juggernaut. Let's pick two jets and let's get into it. That looks absolutely crazy, that car does. It looks like something which genuinely is trying to kill you. It does look like you've just took the front end of a jet fighter, the back end of a jet fighter, and stuck some wheels on it. Which, in all fairness, is probably what has happened. Someone's gone, oh, I like this design, I like this. Let's design it looking like we have actually gone cut and shot on a jet fighter. And pulling away, I've got the Studebaker there. Well, it's going off like a rocket, because it is, and it's actually keeping ahead and doing really well. The fact you've actually got a button on the cockpit, you know, on the right hand side, I saw that one was in before, it says afterburner. Right, okay. This is absolutely crazy. There's sort of no way this should be legal. And through the line, first place, that's absolutely kicked it. Yeah, the Studebaker. There's that one there I passed with the crazy headlights. That is just mad. And back into the map, I'm going to go for another little bit of a drive around in this, because I want to sort of test this out a little bit, try and get it up to a little bit of speed. But this is definitely one of the more unique and quite possibly fun cars that are part of the Hot Wheels pack. And this is great. This is actually really cool. So coming down here doing 170. Remember, this is untuned. I've not touched this. Nothing's been adjusted. This is pretty much as it comes when you first get it. And this Hot Wheels pack is really cool. I really do like it. And it isn't actually that expensive. I know a lot of people are sort of justifiably annoyed that it's not part of the Ultimate pack. Because you buy the Ultimate Edition sort of on the basis, you actually buy it with an understanding that future add-ons and packs will be included. And I don't think it was ever like a limitation, only the first 2 years of add-on packs will be included, or only this many number. It was like, you buy this and you get the add-on packs as part of the price. And this has come out, and this is the first one where Microsoft has said, actually, no, it isn't. Everybody has to buy it. So I sort of understand why a lot of people who did buy the Ultimate Edition, which is not me, by the way, I got the Standard Edition, and I also got another Standard Edition when I bought a 1X. And I bought all the DLCs, with the exception of VIP, separately, which, okay, I don't mind. But I do understand the annoyance of people who did buy the Ultimate Pack, thinking that long term they'll be saving money and get on all the content. But I also see sort of Microsoft never made any promises that it was going to be a permanent thing, that every single thing was going to be part of that pack. So it's a bit of a funny one. It's a bit of a, I don't know, it's probably not a nice thing to do to the community who did invest in the Ultimate, but I can't sort of say I'm shocked that Microsoft sort of drew a line and said, here's a business decision. From this point up, you have to buy these packs. And it's $10 in the US. That's what it was released at. A rough conversion later, and the UK puts it about £7.40, something like that. That's what I paid for it. And whatever it is in your local country based on that. But that's the jet car. That's the two jets. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Go down to Hot Wheels, scan along. Yes, I've got quite a few duplicates of Hot Wheels. There's a reason for that. But let's have a look at the Chevy LUV. And this looks like a really fun car with the engine right in the back. So let's get that. I'm waiting for a delivery, and it's here. It's bright yellow, massive engine sitting in the back. And that's actually quite fun. Let's spin it around, shall we? And let's have a little drive past Bamber Castle. And I do like the animation on the engine. You can see the flaps going up and down actually on the engine, which is actually really cool. So that's a really good bit of attention to detail. It's quite basic on the interior, just the essential dials. And it's a very simple car, to be fair. It's just basically it's a flatbed with a huge engine slapped in the back of it. But no, this is actually quite fun. This is quite enjoyable. You know, even though you've got some mad cars, and this is arguably quite mad considering that it's actually got an engine slapped right in the middle there, it actually is probably one of the more sensible amongst them. Drifting around, very, very drifty, but rear-wheel drive in the rain. Yeah, no mods, no messing about. And yeah, it's actually quite fun. They are actually quite good cars, because all these are off the Legends Tour. And these are all real cars. These are cars that people have actually completed. These are cars that people have actually made or have had made, and they actually are real and they do drive. And they went on a big tour around America, and it was called the Legends Tour. And this is what this pack is. It's actually the Legends pack with a select number of these winning cars, you know, these outstanding, award-winning custom cars. But I'm going to give this a run down the Juggernaut again, because it's a nice quick race to complete, and also gives me a chance to sort of open it up a little bit and give you a chance to have a listen to the engine sounds. So when we get loaded in, I'll shut up for a little bit like I did before and leave you just to have a listen sort of to it running. People do like to hear the engine sounds on Forza. It's actually quite a big thing about the engine accuracy, and whilst I can't vouch for the engine accuracy for any of these cars, I'll at least give you guys an opportunity to actually hear it and make your own judgment. And that's that one, guys. That's actually that race done. And yeah, it's held its own pretty well, actually. That's done pretty well against the Hoonigans. And yeah, that's actually quite a fun car. And it's definitely one I see I can work with a little bit, do a decent S1 tune on it maybe, or S2. But moving on, let's have a look at the next Hot Wheels creation. Moving over and past all these. And I think it's the time of the International Harvester Lodestar. That really wacky truck. Okay, fast travel. Yeah, alright. That looks weird. That is really weird. It's like your motor truck. It looks sort of really mini. It looks like really small, like miniaturized. Because normally the trucks are pretty big. But that does look pretty miniaturized to me. But, you know, that's just me. But this is the inside view. And having a look around it. Yeah, it does. That just looks like it's a toy. That is just, I don't know, the proportions just look, that just looks bizarre to me. I'm going to give it a race down and give it another run up the Juggernaut, see how that gets on, and give you guys a chance to sort of hear how it sounds and sort of see how it drives without me talking over stuff. But yeah, this is an interesting one. It's one I'm going to have a look at, see what I can do with the engine swaps and everything, and see what sort of tunes I can put together. But at the moment, avoid that coach, don't want to end up in a crash first time out, you know. There you go, everything's disappeared. Where they go? I've actually connected to an online session, I think, and all the offline cars have vanished. So let's give it a little run down towards Juggernaut, and let's see how this fares against whatever it's up against. Probably a big list of Hoonigans, probably, given that it is all customs and hot rods. So off to Juggernaut, and we can go through and have a look at that one. Okay, so loading in the Juggernaut. Yeah, it doesn't really look that much bigger than the Hoonigans, does it, on the line? That's a bit worrying. It does. I mean, that literally is. That's about the same size as those Hoonigans, those Chevys. But pulling away, let's see how I get on, because the acceleration's not amazing on this one, and I know top speed somewhere about 130 something. So let's see how I get on, and I'll shut up and leave you to it. and that's finished 4th place, totally owned by the Hoonigan Bel Airs. Yeah, never mind. I still can't get over the fact that it does genuinely look like it's a toy. It really does. It does look like it's a car made from a actual Hot Wheels toy rather than a Hot Wheels toy that was made out of an actual car. But moving over, and it's time to have a look at the Studebaker, the Golden Hawk, and get him a car. Let's get that delivered. And this is that one with that really crazy headlight. You've got a headlight off a motorbike, and you've got a headlight off. I'm not sure what car it was, but it's one of the ones where the headlights raise up like the Italian sports cars, and it's been fitted upside down. So I'm not entirely sure what's off. It's if I remember off a live stream, I think the boot is off an Audi or something like that. It's really bizarre, and definitely it looks like a custom brake light job on the back as well. And when you look at the wheels, if I go side on profile, the wheels are actually really oversized, and they are sort of out of proportion, and it just looks like absolutely crazy. You know what it looks like? You know that episode of Simpsons where Homer Simpson designs a car for his brother? Right? It looks like that sort of stuff. It looks like it's been, designed like that way. But it's like a mix and match of like all the different elements that the person who actually created this actually liked in cars and on vehicles. So it's like really asymmetrical, and it's just crazy. I'm sure I could put a decent tune on this. You see what I mean about the wheels? They look absolutely massive. Those rims just seem far too big for that car. And yeah, and I don't mind quite, big rims, thin tyres, because that's what I've got on my BMW. It's like, that just looks, I don't know, it just looks too big. But let's see how it handles. So come down here in the rain, and I'm making a run up for the Juggernaut again, because this is why I'm testing this stuff. Okay, hit central reservation, a bit wobbly. But yeah, this is actually, despite the fact it looks totally loony, it looks really not what you want. I imagine this car can be tweaked and used and stuff, and actually make it a really cool little everyday driver car. Although, yeah, those rims seem way too big. But let's go into the Juggernaut, and let's see how it gets on against its peers, I guess, That is mad. You go around, you've got those motorbike lights on the front, you've got the lights on the other side which come down, but they're mounted upside down, so rather than popping out of a bonnet, they drop down out the front of a bumper. It is mad, and this reminds me of like one of those Barrett Jackson cars, like the custom cars, the ones that are made for like TV shows and stuff like this. It is something which, I don't know, wouldn't look amiss with the banana splits in them or something, but I'll leave you to it. I'm going to let you hear how this sounds and how it drives. Okay, first place. The Studebaker has actually held its own against the other Hot Wheels cars and Mahoonigans. So that's actually really cool. So I'll skip through all this. What I'll do now is swap cars. So we've had a little drive about, you've seen it in a race. And what have we got up next? The Nash Metropolitan Custom. Okay, that's actually quite cool. Again, the wheels on that look absolutely huge. Those wheels are truly massive. They actually look like they're off like a go-kart or something, don't they? And massive engine coming out the top. You've got the dice on there, and this is sliding. This is truly mad. This is going to be a really cool drift car, to be fair. But you can see the inside view. You've got the massive block sticking out the bonnet. Got the dice designed to it. And this is pretty much like the twin mill in some respects, because you've got the single one here, but the twin mill's obviously got two. And when you're driving along, you can't see crap out of a windscreen. So if you're there in cockpit mode, you literally can see nothing in front of you. And this is quite restrictive, although you can still work with it. And yeah, it's actually quite stylish, quite cool. Got all the chrome on the inside as well. Got the whole vintage look and the colour scheme. Admittedly, it's got a bit of rust on the front as well. And I'm going to give it a run down to the Juggernaut, and again give it a run across there, because okay, colour changing cars happens a lot. Smacked into BMW. Was that an E36, something like that? Avoid that one. Avoid the truck, and we're coming down towards a Juggernaut. Yeah, that car just looks weird. Those wheels honestly do look like you've just slapped them on off the side of a go-kart. But let's go into this. And this car, again, seems really small. It does seem really small. And I want to see how this sort of fits up against the other cars. Because this is a car which looks more like it was a car based on a toy, rather than a toy that was based on a car. And right, okay, I've got the Chevy Bel Air next to me there, the Hoonigan, and right, that is tiny. This car is proper small. Look how small that is compared to that Chevy Bel Air. That is mad. But I'm going to let it run and come back at the end of this one, because this should be interesting. Okay, finished in first place. Hot Wheels Metro, yeah, the Metropolitan. And, okay, that's alright. Little dancing. That car is absolutely tiny. That is really small. That is mad. It literally looks like I could just pick it up and just put it on the side of my desk. But skip through all this stuff, and we can go back and see what I want to do next with some of this stuff. Give it a reverse round. Definitely spinning those little go-kart wheels. They are, you know, when I say go-kart, for the American people watching this stuff, I'm on about like soapbox racers, yeah? You know, the soapbox racers. That's what it looks like to me, wheels off that. And I've got a daily Forza fun here, 1 star or better in any drift zone. And given that this is probably a pretty respectable drift car anyway, I'm going to go and have a go at this trying to do a drift zone. So let's pop up the map. Let's find some drift zones, shall we? I am terrible at drifting, but there's one which I can do quite well at, and that's Ashbrook Lane down there. So let's do a fast travel and let's have a go at this, shall we? Okay, Ashbrook Lane, right. Let's give this a little test. Mark it up. Only 1 star, so this should be definitely easy, even for someone as bad at drifting as I am. So coming round, smoking those tyres out proper, and coming round towards this drift zone. Go, go, go. Give it a little spin. Not quite doing it, although I've got traction control on. I forgot I've got the traction control on. So let's give it a reverse back. Let's go and fast travel back a little bit further up the road, and we need to turn that traction control off because you can't drift with traction on. So let's knock that off. I'm not brave enough to turn ABS off on this at the moment, so let's give this a run with the traction and the stability off. This is purely stock. You've got this little Nash Metropolitan with the soapbox racer wheels. Okay, that's not too bad. And losing it, hitting the tree. Right. That's pretty much me drifting in a nutshell, that is. Looking alright, looking alright, looking alright, and smacking a tree. Little spin on that one. Let's try and get this back under control, because this is crazy. I'm sure a lot of you guys who can actually drift would have a lot of fun with this. Although I'm starting to try and get my eye in a little bit when it comes to drifting this, because this is the first time I've sort of tried it. And I'm not doing too badly. I only have to get 1 star, so I've already got 2 at this point, so that'll definitely complete the Forza from. And 83,000.7. Okay. That is 2 stars. And that gets me my Forza from done. Brilliant. And yes, this is going to be an absolutely mega drift car for someone, I'll tell you. I'll guarantee there'll be people drifting this stuff around in events and whatnot, but this is actually quite fun. Give a little drive around, and that is the Hot Wheels pack, guys. The Hot Wheels Legends. It's $10 on the store, which is about £7.40 UK and whatever the conversion rate is for your local currency. And I think it's worth it. I definitely think it's worth that money, and it's definitely good fun. I've only had a quick look at some of these cars because I could go deeper into this, but the video is going to get longer and longer as I go. I just wanted to cover off what the cars were, how they performed, and sort of what your upgrade options were. And I sort of hope I've sort of managed to do that in this. And I do put a lot of Forza content out. And if you do like what I'm doing, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and until next time, thank you for watching. Take it easy and crazy driving, right?